Okay, I have enough memory. um, so yeah, these people have an insane agenda to get. Oh, that guy has rickets. Crazy. Um, they have an insane agenda to get me into trouble, and many people like me into trouble. There's a guy I bought a gun from. Um, yeah, he was telling me that if I break the law or something like that, I have to talk to. I'm gonna get him on video saying it because this is bullshit. He was claiming that if I break the law and I'm selling him a gun, he owns the gun. Well, if you want your shop to be full of holes, you know what I mean? That's my gun. Don't ever say stupid crap like that, Trevor. You know who you are. Don't ever do that because that's my gun. I paid for it. It's mine. Um, so, yeah, that's theft right there. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of sleight of hand bullshit does not work on me. The Freemasons, the Watchtower Society, etc. It does not work with me. So the veterans paid for those laws, they paid for that structure, they paid with their lives. Some of them were misled, you know. You can make the assertion Vietnam was a shitty situation, we shouldn't have gotten involved. You know, there's other ways besides war. I'm kind of under the impression they wanted to just test their weapons on people. I hate saying that shit, but it's probably true. On the Vietnamese, the communist, you know, Charlie in the trees, etc. I just think that we need new leadership in the military. We need to vet our own leaders constantly because they're part of these. You can look at in Yakima. I think there's McEwen, Michello, and Campos, and someone else. They were all part of that Knights of Columbus, I think. Excuse me. And they had an agenda to I don't know, most of these people, in my opinion, most of the people responsible for the mass shootings are the Knights of Columbus. Um, that's just the way it is. By the way, if you're a man and you've seen child pornography, don't feel bad. That's the women. That's the shit I'm talking about. The women want that. The women want men to be in fear. That's actually what they're trying to do. I don't know. You may feel, or you may have actually done something a little bit worse, perhaps. Don't feel so bad, but just repent, because if you're not aware of their agenda, they want your ass in prison. They want men worshiping women. I don't know how to describe it. I'm in the middle of a. Yeah, that's annoying. Anyways, that's what the women want. They want their own agenda. I don't know. These people, these women, beware of women nowadays. I'm not going to accuse anyone in particular or do whatever, but most of the people my age, I'm like 32. I say that kind of as a joke, but most of the women have had sex with all their boyfriends. Sex is meaningless. Sex is just a point they reach, whether it's a compromise or maybe one or the other party is misled. That's where that rape accusation comes in. And I wish the women would do a better job at explaining it, because when women say they were raped, they were just manipulated and misled, beguiled, if you will. So women, don't allow yourself to be beguiled or misled. One of the most important things I need to put out there, and this is just a rabbit trail, there is an agenda for people to go nuclear. They say, oh, they're going to exchange nuclear weapons. No, they're not. They're not. You look at Chernobyl, you look at Fukushima, you look at all these other places. There's a half-life to these atomic particles and elements, and it takes, like, I guess, hundreds of years for them to, I don't know how you say it, I don't know what you could do to mitigate that. But that's not what they're talking about when they're talking about going nuclear. When they're talking about going nuclear, they're talking about either spontaneous human combustion, graphene oxide. You can activate the graphene. I guess they're spraying. I can't see. Okay, you can kind of see that. Can you see that? That is a contrail. Do you see how it's disappearing? There, right there. Yeah, right there. You see it. That's a contrail, not a chemtrail. That's natural. Planes do that all the time. So that's harmless. The other ones are not contrails or chemtrails, cloud seeding, etc. But going back to the graphene oxide is disabled by wood, particularly the inner gum of wood trees. I'm assuming that's why they put graphene pencil lead in wood, or vice versa. I don't know. They say something to do with neutrinos in wood, so yeah, just take that into consideration because most people have graphene inside of them. It's either going to cause spontaneous human combustion, which would have to have one or more causing elements, if you will. It'd have to be the food. Usually they come in threes, in my opinion: food, water, and chemicals. So if you have the chemical, if you have the water, jeez. Sorry, I'm getting attacked by insects. If you have the food, if you have the water, that's fine. But if you don't have it, it would attack your myelin, your brain. It's going to attack those, what do you call it? It's hard for me to relax. I'm constantly being harassed by Jesuits who want to screw little kids, I guess. That's getting spiritual with the children. And again, it's not the people who have done that. It's the people who think it's normal. Those are the people you need to watch out for. Most of those are Jesuits. Most of them get their inspiration from the tribals and others. So take that into consideration. But yeah, so if you feel like you have graphene poisoning inside of you, I would recommend chewing the inner bark. I don't know if there's a particular plant or tree that would help detoxify, but that's what I would do. I mean, it makes sense to me. I'll look into it. But if they're hiding articles online, you're not going to find it if they're hiding it online. So I chewed the bark, or the inner bark, the gum. They call it Indian gum. And it did seem to help. So I guess chewing the Indian gum seems to be a viable option for those of you who are looking into detoxing from graphene oxide. And it's not the graphene oxide, it's graphene. And there's a certain point when it oxidizes. Oxidizing means with the oxygen. So the graphene oxide, something would have to cause it to oxidize, right? Because graphene doesn't just oxidize, in my opinion. It has to have some kind of precursor, something to cause a chain reaction to oxidize. So they say getting plenty of exercise. However, if they're spraying graphene oxide in the atmosphere, it's kind of a never-ending battle. So I would chew wood, inside the bark, inside of the trees. I'm actually going to get some later today. I'm actually going to head out soon. So that's just my 10-minute. Actually, I'll try to make it go 11 minutes. Those are my 11 minutes. I'm at 9:34 right now. So that's just the way. That's my opinion. You don't have to take it into consideration. I'm not gonna. Most of my adult life, I've been ridiculed and harassed. It has nothing to do with old friends. It has to do with people in power. i.e. the Mormons, the Masons, heck, even the Jews, I guess, the Muslims, Hindu. I mean, people who have a reason to not like me. And when I mention in particular Jews, like, Jews from the Bible, not all these Jews are religious. Not all these Jews are into Judaism. Not all these Jews are pro-Israel. Not all the Jews are what you would consider a stereotypical Jew. They may be Jews, but they're not linked together. I mean, they had tribes of Jews in the Bible, so tribalism, I'm assuming that's where tribalism comes from. I'm not going to look into it because, for one, as of 2023, there's a lot of programmable religion. And that's all I should have to say. You can program religion into people.